G'day, welcome one and all to another episode of Guvs Hero Review videos. Today we are going to be continuing in our Mechanoid series, taking a look at the purple 5-star legendary hero, Quatro. There he is, the Snipe Specialist. So Quatro is available for summons from the Mechanoid Menace portal, which rolls around once every 8 weeks, as it's on a monthly appearance rate, but alternates month on, month off with the other Alliance event, the Monster Island event. As we saw, unfortunately, this portal does not have any featured heroes, which means that when you're summoning, there is a 1.2% chance for literally any of the 11 legendary heroes in the game. So you're as likely to get Quatro as you are anyone else. Quatro has been in the game for quite a long time now. He was introduced in the first appearance of Mechanoid Menace back in March 2021. The portal's then been expanded with a couple new heroes, first in April 2022 and then in an update in June 2023. Flipping over to my roster and we can take a look at some of his artwork. Where is he? There he is. So taking a look at that, he is very much so the sniper. So he's got a giant sniper rifle there, holding it aloft because that is the best position to be carrying your sniper rifle in. Got the heroic pose going with the look at me kind of thing. It is a bit of an interesting one because of the size of his rifle and how high it goes. They've shrunk his person down, so it actually kind of looks like he's a bit of a less than average height, when in reality it's kind of just that they've default scaled it so that his rifle appears on the screen all the time. So anyway, that's his artwork. Have a look if you wish, and then yeah, we can go back to the portal and have a look at continue looking at his card. So he is a member of the Mechanoids family, which means that he does gain a plus 12, 18, 24 or 30% chance to deal a support attack against the target of an ally's special skill. And that's if you've got 2, 3, 4 or 5 unique members of the Mechanoid family in a battle. So a support attack is just a 100% snipe, and in this case it's triggered by an ally special skill. So when you target someone with a special skill, there's a X percentage chance that that Quatro will also deal a 100% snipe against that target as well. Mechanoid family heroes also gain a stat bonus when they're used during the Mechanoid Menace event. Specifically, they are going to gain a plus 4, 8, 12, 16 or 20% attack and defense when you have 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 unique members of the Mechanoids family in your team. Note that they do have to be unique heroes, so it's got to be Quatro and say Shutdown or Quatro and Judge. You can't bring along 2 copies of Quatro. Also, that stat bonus, it only applies in the Mechanoid Menace event. It doesn't apply during any other format of the game. It's only when you use those heroes actually in the Mechanoid Menace stages. In terms of his personal stats, Quatro comes in with a massive 728 attack, 657 defense, and 1365 HP. So there is a skewing towards that attack stat. I say massive because at the time of his release, this was actually a huge attack stat. So unfortunately, you can see his power is quite a bit lower than more modern heroes, and that sort of is a reflection of his lower overall stat line. As a result, it's just from his age, right? He's an old hero, he doesn't have the power creep that the newer heroes have had. His charge speed is set to 57, which is average. This requires 10 tiles to charge or 5 ghosted tiles. A speed break only requires plus 1, getting it to 58, which you can do just using the class node alone, or you can use either of the speed guns in any of their formats. A double break does require plus 8, which you can do just using the plus 9 Explosion B90, which is a vanilla speed weapon. So if you've got limited speed guns, you can just do the class node and that'll break him once. But if you've got a B90 that you can equip to him, then you don't really need the speed gun at all because, the speed node, because you can get the double break with the weapon. So yeah, whether the class node is relevant or not really depends on if you've got plus 9 speed guns you can assign to him. By way of an actual emblem path, we'll flip back to my roster and we can see what I've done. So I personally have gone an attack path to enhance his overall damage output. Plain and simple, that's what I did. I did do the 2% speed node because when I first got him, I didn't actually have very many speed guns. I got him quite early on in my playing time, so I did go the speed node, but nowadays I probably don't need it as much, and I could have gone and grabbed that one extra attack node for 15 more attack points. So you can see I stopped him at plus 19. There is no real need to get the plus 18. There's no real need to get plus 19 or plus 20 because it's a lot of emblems for very little return on your investment. So yeah, that's the emblem path that I would follow, or I have followed for Quatro, and what I recommend. Jumping back into the portal, and we can continue with his hero skill. So his skill is titled Satellite Snipe, and at level 10 skill and 57 charge speed will deal 410% damage to the target. The target then becomes unaffected by dodge bonuses for 3 turns, and then the caster's next special skill against the same color will deal an additional 40% damage. So yeah, let's have a look at that in a little bit more detail. So we can start off with the direct damage. So it is very hard to calculate and compare all the direct damages in the game, purely because the damage calculation has a lot of inputs to it, and some of them are quite variable, like defense stats and so forth. What I do instead, though, is I calculate their attack power, which is what feeds into the damage calculation from the attack side of things, and compare them on that basis. So attack power is just their attack stat multiplied by the percentage in their special skill. This is translatable to their damage, so higher attack power results in higher damage output. So yeah, to normalize it, because every sniper seems to have a different speed, what I do is I then divide by the number of tiles, and that gives me the attack power per tile. So in the case of Quatro, he's got 728 attack, 410% skill damage, which results in an attack power of 2,985. Dividing that by the 10 tiles required to charge, and he comes in at 299 attack power, which is number 6 in the overall snipers in the game in terms of base damage. So he is, even though he's quite old, he has actually maintained quite a good damage output, even compared to some of the newer heroes. So if you look at this list here, the ones that are actually higher than him, you've got Cruz, who is a new hero, Sure Shot Variant, who's a new hero, Amethyst, who's a new hero, and Wandro, who was a hero of the month that was released after Quatro. And he also requires 4 additional tiles. So he's not really 9 tiles to charge. That example there, that's actually 13 tiles to charge. But anyway, so Quatro has maintained quite a considerable amount of damage output, even for his age. So if we look at that, some of the other ones in there, you've got some of the other newer heroes like Undertaker and Sato. They're sort of lower down the list than him. And you've got all the way down the bottom there your likes of Night Owl and Marigold. So yeah, pretty good base damage output, coming in at number 6 of the available 16 purple snipers at the time of this review. Moving on, I'll jump down to the bonus damage because this is sort of carrying on from his base damage. So it is a little bit different to all of those scenarios you would have seen in that previous list. So it's not actually inputting onto his attack power. What this bonus damage is it's actually a scalar multiplier on the actual damage output. So let's give an example. So say in this example, Quatro has got 1050 attack, which is what I get routinely in battle with the weapons and emblems. If he was then to target an enemy with 1000 defense, his first skill cast would come out at roughly 680 damage on the first cast. If he then targeted that same enemy a second time, he'd be doing 950 damage, because 680 multiplied by 1.4 comes out at 950. So by way of comparison, if you were to put 40% into his skill percentage, right? So if you were to try to translate that 40% into his attack, you would need a 7... Where am I going with this? Yeah, so if instead you calculated that as 40% extra on his skill damage, so 410 plus 40%, that comes out at 450%, right? If you'd worked that through, the damage output would be only 750. So 950 as a multiplier versus 750. If we back calculate from that 950, we end up with an attack power, an equivalent attack power of roughly 4,000, which is insane. It's like the highest attack power in the purple snipers, and an attack power per tile of 400, which jumps him up to just behind Cruz, like literally just behind Cruz on that list. So yeah, so Quatro with that bonus damage on his second cast is really, really good with that damage output. So Moving on from the damage, because I probably made everyone a little bit confused with that. The next part of his skill is the dodge negation, right? So the best thing about this is that it's total negation. It doesn't just do like a minus 16% or anything like that. It completely eliminates every form of dodge that hero could gain. So this means it eliminates weapon bonuses, it eliminates buff bonuses, it eliminates family bonus. It just stops them from dodging. And it's really useful ensuring that hero dies. And it also means that if you do get a second cast off during those 3 turns, you are going to hit them. All right, you're not going to have them dodge it and miss out on that bonus 1.4 times damage. Obvious caveat here is that you need to hit the enemy in the first instance to apply that ailment. But how I work around this is I will often equip Quatro with a accuracy gun in order to ensure the hit. So that's also why I picked up that 2% node, is sometimes I don't actually apply the speed gun to him depending on the defense team I'm facing. So overall, Quatro is a very good damage dealer. He is an older hero, yes. His stats aren't as good, yes. But his base damage is still pretty hefty in the purple 5-star sniping arena. And then courtesy of that bonus damage when you hit the same color again, he ratchets up to amongst the best possible options that you can have as a purple sniper. So I like using Quatro in combination with an elemental defense down hero like Undertaker or Marigold to basically be a 1-2 punch kill on a specific hero. And I usually like using him most when there are multiple heroes of the same color on a defense team, because then I can go like Undertaker Quatro on one hero and then Undertaker Quatro on a second hero of that same color, and they're both guaranteed basically to die. So yeah, best use is on a team with multiple of the same colored enemy, but he can also work as like an off-color sniper to just pick off randomly on the battlefield. So for Quatro's grading, I'm going to give him a B+ for raid and war attack situations. I'm going to give him a B- for war machines. Eventing, he's going to get a C+. He's really only attacking or helping out with the attack stat. The bonus damage kind of can work if you sort of know what boss you're going to be and you set it up so that you've got bonus damage for the boss phase, but not huge improvement there. For war and raid defenses, I'm going to give him a C-. He's really not a good defensive option, courtesy of that low defense stat. He might be able to work in a wing position, but he's unlikely, because of the AI's terrible targeting, to actually get off that bonus 1.4 damage, because it does need to target the same colored enemy. In the tournament format, so in Bloody Battles, I'm going to give him a B+ for attack and a C- for defense. Buff Boost is also a B+ for attack and a C- for defense, so no change on either of those fronts. But on Charged Attack, I'm going to give him an A- for attack and a C grade for defense, and that's because he goes from 57 speed up to 65, so he does gain a bit of improvement. So overall, that gives Quatro a grade of a B grade for attack and a C- for defense. And that concludes the content that I have for this review of Quatro. As always, these are just my personal views on these heroes. I do love hearing your thoughts and feedback of them, so please jump down into the comments section if you have anything you'd like to add or anything you'd like to raise. I do love reading your comments, and I try to respond to as many of you as I can. If you did enjoy the content and found it to be useful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, but most importantly, share the video around, because realistically, if these reviews are useful for yourself, they're also going to be useful to the people that you play with as well. Thank you once again for joining me and tuning in for this review. I do hope I will see you soon, but until then, stay safe, happy gaming, and good luck. Cheers, bye!